back. Good evening, Cosmic Explorers. We have missed you, and it is such an honor to be back in this space, in this energy, to connect with you all. And yeah, it's Friday night.
It's Friday night. It's tune up night. And oh my gosh, I'm so excited to be back. Thank you, everyone who's joining us this evening. I think it was kind of surprised. Many people might not know we're back on the air, huh? However, we are back. And yeah, it's been quite a little off journey, hasn't it, Hillis?
It has, and we kind of decided this last minute, almost like a few days ago, to come back because the energies were being cultivated as we were away. And in this process of cultivation, there's been this energy of transformation, this energy of growth, this energy of what do we do next? And in this process of what do we do next, we're still in the process of really shifting and evolving the show. I mean, there's so much that is going on energetically that we are allowing ourselves the time to nurture the space that we're in. So yeah.
Exactly. I was
So
multitasking there. See, I've upgraded. I'm multitasking now.
yeah, I love it. But this summer has been real interesting, the time away. So I know it's been interesting in my space of transformation. But what about you? What do you have going on? I mean, you look radiant. I mean, your energy is just beaming tonight. So what happened over the summer with you?
I died and I came back alive.
I think we all have. I know I have a few times too, but
Yeah, I went down. I've been before I left on my. Oh my gosh, I got a piece of hair on my face. Before I left on my journey, everybody knows I've been dealing with this thing on my face, and it's still healing. But we are almost to the end of it. But the best part of the whole process was by stepping back and being myself. I got led to the proper person that led me to the information required to know exactly what was going on with it. And I won't get into that because that's just a whole different story. But in saying that, I was able to take a beautiful journey with a plant medicine that was the most amazing experience of kind of, we kind of deep dive into ourselves. And I knew I needed to deep dive at a whole nother level. I'm always one to dive, but it's just like right now, the energies of everything that's happening right now, it's like asking us, I mean, not even asking, it's like we have to go to that
demanding.
demanding. It's a whole nother level. It's like matter of fact, yeah, here's your choice here. You either shit or get off the pot, and I'm just going to say it because that's where we are right now. So yeah, I took that journey, went out to San Francisco, and yeah, the experience I had was life changing. I mean, beyond life changing. I was able to unravel a lot of old stuff that was spiraled in my system, in my cellular memory, and it was beautiful to have that experience. And I remember waking up the next day feeling like a brand new baby, and the first thing I said is like, who am I now and who do I want to be now? And I felt totally different. And after this experience, I'm going to tell you, and I need to share because I know anxiety levels, my like anxiety, like you know how you get that anxiety inside your body where you feel it, it's like when you that's completely gone now after this experience. So yeah, it's a whole new. I'm walking in a whole new shoes now. So I don't know what's going to come. I'm just expanding and growing and learning and opening and receiving and shifting and changing and discerning, and I can go on and on.
You can be like a Glinda, the Good Witch,
But it's okay.
the ever expansion of light, the ever
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. And that's where we all need to be right now. So what about you, Hillis? Like,
Where do I even begin? I don't even
I
know
don't
where to
know. Yeah,
begin.
we only have an hour or whatever, so short little snippet.
you know, as everyone knows, I've been on this plant medicine journey and learning how to integrate the journey of medicine, the journey of self, and really getting to really understand the core of who I am.
Mhm.
At the soul level. Just when you think, let me rephrase it, just when you feel or begin to understand where you are at one level, there's this whole other level that begins to open.
Mhm.
And as you begin to see, or me personally, I begin to see this, there are other coincidences, other reminders, other things that fall into place that make much more sense in how life is to be. And then there's just the 3D aspect, of the world that we are actually living, the everyday minutia of the frustration or the suffering that we all choose to sit in because of some of the life choices we make, or because things aren't being met on a monetary scale, or our visions are coming to fruition, and all these things, all this stuff, and we begin to really allow ourselves. I know for me, have to sit in this space of patience, and I tell you, patience has. I when I was younger, you know, especially as a kid into like my 20s, maybe even in my early 30s, I had a lot of patience. Now, like my patience is like, now, can we have it now? And that's part of the transformation, is to really understand and understand what is going on with me physically, to truly begin to have the physical space match the ethereal space, the soul space, and what does that look like? And it's just in the space of really balancing the two, and allowing them to really become one, because we all talk about oneness. I know I talk about it a lot. We all talk about these things, but when it really comes to the integration and really understanding the teachers, the masters, the plants, the master plants, the master teachers, all these energies, you know really begin to understand how small things really are. But then it also creates these trigger points in you to really understand, well, it matters. It really freaking matters. But then it doesn't matter that much, you know?
It's all about detachment.
Oh, yeah, that's been my theme this week. That's for sure. Been learning how to let go. And it's like, I'm done, I'm done, I'm done, I'm done. And
As Aunt Pie always said, no more, no more.
yeah, but honestly, sometimes you just can't be done because there's still like these little things that need mending.
Hmm. I have to disagree with that a little bit in that,
Well, I
uh,
guess with me personally, I'm not
yeah,
saying as a whole, but with me personally.
and I agree on one aspect, but there's this other aspect, as we move into these uncharted waters that we're in right now,
Yeah.
that is almost like the master purpose of everybody is that detachment. And, as you talked about, like oneness and unity and coming together, we're in this dynamics right now of learning our bodies, of learning how to vibrate at a different level, of learning to discern everything around us right now, and moving into this unity with our higher selves and our human selves that's coming together to separate out of the polarity that and the duality, um that we function from. And I think that's the biggest shift in that, and what you said before, in moving into that space where we can, and once again going back to the detachment, because once you're completely detached from something and it's completely unraveled, and then there's no electric charge for it. And when that's like kind of what I feel like what we're being challenged with right now in humanity is learning to detach from that point that you don't have that charge anymore. And it's a
Yeah.
challenging process, and it's layered. And I don't even say an onion, it's spiral, so you're spiraling and spiraling and spiraling and spiraling, until we spiral out of everything, where we can come to that complete wholeness of who we are.
Yeah, it's all about, the transformational space of how we allow ourselves to live and to move and to function. And in this time, of being away from the show, I've done interviews where I talked about such things, and really allowing ourselves to really connect to what really matters.
Mhm.
And this really matters for me, having these conversations, having these talks, and connecting and expressing and really moving in this space to be a teacher, student, master, or teacher, student, whatever you want to call it, of all of this. I'm learning just as much as everyone else is. And as we begin to understand the center point, the core, the gravity of it all, of what it is, you know, the one thing that we can both truly rely on in life is change, is
Mhm.
transformation. Once we begin to master the point of transformation, once we begin to see the seed, the inception of this transformation, we then can begin to allow ourselves to master that space, master that energy, and say, okay, this is another step, this is another space of transformation. And once we understand it and see it, acknowledge it, we know how to prepare for it, because now, right now, what is happening, internally with me, I'm sure with you and maybe a few other people, that this is, as you, and show the card to Rebecca. This is uncharted territory. This
Which one?
is,
Oh, that one. Okay.
yeah, yeah. This is so. Before the show, Rebecca pulled some cards, and this is
I got a little cuckoo for coconuts. Okay, so we had to reel it in a little bit.
and so as we are moving in this space, it's like, how do we move into a space? It's like, it's the vision that I'm being shown is us being born again, coming to Earth, coming to a planet where we have no freaking clue, no freaking idea of what's happening. The reason why we have amnesia, and so we have to figure out this map, and that's what's happening right now. We're given this map with no general direction. Everything has to be based in feeling and intuition. And so that's where the direction we're headed, at least that's how I feel,
Yeah, I mean, you got to look at it this way. When we were born and brought into this world, we are born as masters. Everybody on this planet is born as a master.
Yeah.
And the problem is, and then you're domesticated, and then you forget about the master that you are. And so now we're in the process of remember the master we were born into be.
I
And
love that.
flying and accepting that and opening into that. And and finding I love one of the cards I love is the we put a couple cards. So one of them was the power of purpose, and it's realizing, that purpose, everybody's been so caught up on that purpose, on that power. That purpose is always about, is in the doing. I have to be
Yeah.
doing, taking action. I've got to do this. I got to do that. The whole, we won't even get in the whole time thing right now. But, and, but in saying that, it's just like, it's like reeling back um, into yourself. And by doing that, to really take a look and learn and allow yourself and give yourself permission to be in the being, because
Yeah.
that's the key, being in the silence of yourself and being in that being part, to really look at the aspects of yourself. uh, oh my god, I'm gonna choke on my hair. That those aspects of yourself that you have let go of because of other people's opinions being placed upon you, because of belief systems you were born to follow,
Yeah.
because of past life, if that is something you believe in, a spiraling, quantum entanglements in your cellular DNA. So there's, it from lineage, so there's all these things going on right now on so many different levels, in that it's really time, when they say speak your truth, it's really time to speak your truth right now. And if
Yeah.
something, the key thing I can say right now, if it doesn't feel right, Walk away, take a breath, and investigate.
Well, I'm glad you said that because see, this is how I know we're in the same energy, because I was just thinking, well, actually was thinking two things, but I think one thing that a lot of people are in the space of right now is in the space of fear,
Oh
in
yeah.
in the space of wanting to walk away from something or wanting to move away from something, but there's still that anchor that is connected to it. And this goes back to what I was talking about earlier, is about there's that one thing that's still hooked in, or that one thing that's still connected that you just can't get out. And so there's a reason, there's a purpose, that sometimes, well, why we can't walk away from something or step away from something because of that fear that if I walk away from something, I can't support myself or I can't support my family, I can't do any of these things. But what you talked about is that alone time is most important and most critical, especially now when we have that time to sit with self and really honor that, and yeah, it may not feel right. Yeah, it may not be beneficial for you to walk away from something that you dislike so much, or there's dredging up so much fear or resentment or regret and all those like feelings. But sometimes you just have to, you know, take that leap and just like, what, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. My patience is worn out. I'm tired of whatever. And so you may just have to walk away. And if you can't walk away, find something to make it better, to tolerate it a little bit less until you can walk away. And I like what Carol here said, I'm struggling, my relationships, they hate on me now. Let them hate. I'll be honest. I mean, there's nothing you can do about anyone and how they feel about you. There's nothing you can do about how someone reacts to you. And this is blanket with everyone. Regardless of how someone feels, reacts, or responds to you, that's their mess, not yours. And was watching Wheel of Time the other day. I think it was episode 2, I think, where they talked about where they go through the arches, and this lady, one of the people who's one of the initiates, come out, and she's like, "Well, I gotta go back home and take care of this and blah 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 blah." And one of the sisters said, "I say, don't drag me into your mess. That's you. That's your stuff. Leave me out of it." So essentially, that's what people do. People drag you into that mess and want you to help them and partake in that. But you have to own what's yours first. Once you own yours, then no one else can drag you into theirs.
Yeah. And I want to address, I'm struggling with what Carol said right now. I'm
Yeah.
struggling my relationships. They hate on me now. And I feel I'm sending you so much compassion and love right now, Carol. And I want to thank everybody that's joining the show tonight. Because we have been away. So thank you so much. I wanted to say that earlier. However, in addressing that, I always go back to the four agreements. Don't take it personally right now. You have to remember right now what's going on in the cosmos, what's going on with the energies of the planet right now. We are moving into a vibration level that this everybody on this planet or who's been here, we've never been in this space before.
And it's uncomfortable.
And it's very uncomfortable right now. So I have so much compassion for you for struggling right now with relationships with other people, because it is a new way. Because just remember, those people you're struggling with though are probably, I don't know where they are on their path of their journey, that doesn't matter. But just remember that when people get in spaces, they are in the fear,
Yeah.
and they're not going to understand where you're coming from. And the best thing we can do right now for everyone that's having problems with relationships on any level is to let that person know. And you don't have to agree with them, you don't have to believe in what they're believing, and nothing of that, but just acknowledge what they're saying with love and reverence,
Yeah.
and just look at them from that higher point of view. Don't look at them the fear that they're in right now. Find a way to look beyond that. and just send them the love and compassion, because that is what's required on this earth more than anything. And honor yourself. I say this all the time. You need to honor yourself first
Yeah,
and really take the time to get to know you, because who you were is totally changing right now. That's why everybody's like this right now, because the whole world is being, on every level, being a torn apart, and everybody wants to help save the world and save the people and save all this. But the
yeah,
number one thing you can do is look at yourself, dive into yourself, see yourself, honor yourself, love yourself, and
yeah.
giving that love and spreading it to everybody you meet, everybody you cross, will help trickle out more than anything to help shift the consciousness of this planet.
Exactly. And I love what Susie says here too, to follow up with that. That what others think is none of my business. Because
Mhm.
the moment you allow someone else's opinions and thoughts of you to penetrate your energetic field, you then begin to take that on unconsciously, and then you become what other people think.
Mhm.
And so that's why it's important to discern who you keep around you. So that's why what I talked a moment ago about what other people think, say, feel, do about you. Let them, because that's their own opinion, but you know your strength. And I know that sometimes right now, in the space of struggle, in the space of doubt, in the space of fear, especially if these people are close to you, it's a bit challenging at times to have your own opinion of self. So this is why it's important to sit with self, sit in silence, because if you understand the importance of why monks, especially monks or any Buddhist
Don't talk about monks.
or anyone, and why they sit in silence, or why anyone sits in silence. If you can tolerate your own thoughts, because honestly, we're our own worst critics. If you can tolerate your own thoughts of self and then begin to transmute it and transform those thoughts of self into something better, then you can. You are that light. As Rebecca said, we are all coming to this world as masters, yet we forget our mastery. And in the process, we begin to understand the center, the space of how we master self. We remember how to become masters of self. We begin to remember how we allow ourselves to then teach others and guide others on the path of self mastery. It is, all these avenues, all these branches, all these paths to truly remember the path to self. So, yeah, it's challenging sometimes because being human, we require the social interaction and social camaraderie and likeness and all this stuff, and then people and somebody says, "Oh, I love what you do," "Oh, I hate what you do," and we allow people's opinions to sway what we do, feel, think, act, look, all these things. But bottom line, you have to make you happy, and if you're not happy, then find something that does. And if that means walking away from people who hate on you, by all means. If that means you're not contacting people who hate on you, by all means. You have to allow your energy to be clear if you want to step into the next space. That's just where we are, and that's what where we are on the emotional personal transformation, which is part of the reason why Rebecca and I took this time away from the show. We took this time away from the show so that way we could find, because Rebecca was going through her thing, I was going through my thing. It's like, look, we need to find each other, we need to find ourselves. And during this time, we allowed ourselves to find who we were. We allowed ourselves time to really go through the
Mhm.
personal transformation that we went personally. So when we came together, we can share our experiences and help each other trigger the remembering of mastery.
Exactly. And that's what it's all about. First of all, I'm just going to say, once again, going back to what I said something earlier, if it doesn't resonate with you, listen to yourself always, especially now. Everything I discuss or I talk about is something I've personally experienced in my life. I'm one to teach from my own experience, and that's why I put myself through A lot of the things I put myself through is to challenge myself so I can come and express my journey, to assist others, so I um I just needed to say that, always stem from your heart and what resonates with you. Like, what you talk about, if it doesn't resonate with you, that's awesome. You don't have to take it in, be like, oh, that was interesting. I enjoyed that, but it doesn't resonate with me. And you know what? That's okay.
Yeah.
That is perfectly fine. And we're getting to a point now where we have just society, we just take everything, once again, the four agreements, so personally. And we have to stop that. We have to stand in what feels right with for us and for yourself and for your integrity of what's true. Now, there's another caveat to that. Might be your truth today. What?
You said another caveat. I got excited.
What might be your truth today could shift tomorrow. So you always have to check in. It's always, check into yourself as you grow and expand and you let go of more and you open up to receive more. Your truths can shift and change as well.
Yeah.
And I want to ask everyone, put out there, what you're dealing with right now. Because I love, and another thing I wanted to bring up, which is kind of off because I'm kind of all over the place right in this moment, because you know how I get. We really have to start laughing at me. We really, you missed this, didn't you, Hillis?
My summer was so boring without you. No.
I'm in the web right now. Okay, there's a little ching. It's a ching. It's like teek teek teek. Now I lost my thought. What I was going to say. See what I do to myself. Anyway,
Take a
it'll
deep
come back.
breath.
Okay, it's gone now. It'll come back. Let's read Bridget, and if I come back, I'll interject.
Yeah, I love that.
Awesome, Bridget. Mwah. Sending so much love out to you. I'm so proud of you. I am
See,
so proud of you for taking that stand and doing that. Just give yourself a big hug right now because I'm giving you a hug.
I
That just
love
makes my
that.
heart melt. Oh my gosh. And that's what's it about. And I guess you feel a lot better now, don't you?
Yeah, and I'm
Let me
happy for you,
oh, I
Bridget.
remembered. Going back to the light that shined out. And we really have to have deeper conversations right now. I like to call prickly people. We've got to stop being afraid of prickly people. And and we have to really step into having deeper conversations with people, of allowing ourselves to be vulnerable at a whole new level around discussions we have, deep discussions, to get to kind of know people better, because everybody is kind of on this frantic phase right now. And the more you can open up to be vulnerable and let yourself go and have these deeper conversations, and saying what's showing up for you, how, and allowing people to, going back to Kara earlier, how she was having problems with, the relationship part of it. I have found in my little time off here that if we take the time to sit back and really listen to somebody's point of view on where they are, we don't have to agree with it, but allow them to be heard and have that conversation and say,
Yeah,
okay, I understand, because people, there's so many people that function in so many different spaces in so many different ways.
yeah,
And the people that are in our life that we co-create with and work with, when we could sit back and have deep conversations to be like, okay, I function this way, you function this way. How can we talk this out so we can co-create together and have a deeper relationship that honors each other and the vibration they vibrate at?
yeah,
Does that make sense?
exactly. Yeah, it makes perfect sense. And I want to address what Carol talked about, because this is just continuing on to what you just talked about, is the fact that is it right to really let them go? And the fact that you even asked that, and it's good to ask these questions because we then begin to receive clarity on what we should do next. And I want to pick this apart really quick, because there's a couple of key things that Carol says in here. She says, "Is it really right?" And I'm going to pause there. Say, "Is it really right?" Meaning that there's a space of compassion. There's a space of not wanting, or wanting to be loved or to have love and to have that sense of compassion. I mean, it is the right thing to do, to let them go. And Carol, I just want to say to you that there's you're not the right to let them go is in a space of really understanding what is it that you're holding on to. Ask yourself, what is it that you're holding on to? Is it the person? Is it the energy? Is it the relationship? Is it the past relationship? Is it the energy that you thought that you thought was there? Is it the energy that you wish to return back to? There's a lot of questions, and that question of is it really right to let them go? And in all honesty, like I mentioned before, when Rebecca and I put the show on hiatus, it was time for us to do what we needed to do separately. So when we come back or came back, we would fall back into the vibration, come back stronger than we were. Like with anyone that is asking for time away, for time to be alone, that is the time for restructuring, for transformation, for growth, for if you can really sit in the space of your own thoughts, then you have stepped into the path of mastery. But honestly, you're not really letting anyone go. You're allowing yourself to be free. It's not letting go of anything. You're giving yourself permission to be free. I'm
Hmm.
going to say this one more time. You're not letting anyone go. You're giving yourself permission to be free. And allowing yourself to be free simply means that you are allowing yourself to grow. The freedom to grow, the freedom to transform, the freedom to truly understand who you are in that moment. So, yeah, that's what I get from that.
Well, thank you for that, Hillis. That was beautiful insight.
You're welcome. And
Yeah.
everything that I'm sorry, everything that is being spoken is part of what's been my transformation for almost a year.
We need to go back to that. I didn't get to
Oh yeah,
express
I'm sorry. I was just like
my.
just going and going and going. You know
I
how I
know.
go.
Rewinds. We're going back. No, I want to focus on one word, right.
Yes.
To remind you, right is putting imbalance into a balance. There's no right, wrong, good, bad, and all that imbalance. So it goes back to going inside, feeling your heart, and allowing your heart and your vibration, your body, to make a choice on how you want to proceed with someone. That choice could be made by totally cutting them out of your life. That choice could be made of energetically cutting whatever is triggering you with that person. But you need to take the time to look within yourself of why this person is, or you're in discord with these people. And if it's family members, they're our biggest challenges. I always say that. But also it's something out of resonance within ourselves as well. So you need to address that as well, or those same type of people be coming into your world in some other way, aspect, or form, because that's the key, is like to come in alignment with yourself, and all follows the heart. And the biggest question to ask yourself, and I understand this because I just had just a huge situation come up with a very dear friend of mine, that was huge, and I'm still grieving over that, that I had to literally step this person out of my life completely. However, in saying that, I still love this person. If this person called and something, they were, I would always be there for them, because I love her, compassion, I have heart, and and hold her in that space. However, I've chosen that is some, that particular energy I do not require in my world. So in that situation, however, people can also shift and change as well. So it's a whole, like, there's so many levels to letting someone go, and yeah, and it just depends on the situation. But if that helps assist in any way, just step in your heart and decide, what type of relationship would you be able to contain and hold yourself in your sovereignty with.
Yes, what she said.
So that is my insight around that.
What she said. And I like what Carol has replied to all of this. And hello, Fabio. It's so good to reconnect with you.
Oh,
And Carol, I have not considered it in this way. Thank you. This is so healing for me. And so, yeah, I'm glad that, you know, everything that we've done with this show since the inception has always been guided by spirit. So there's no rhyme or reason, there's no coincidence in why we chose today to come back. And I'm glad that you all are here. We're glad that you all are soaking this all up. We missed you so much. We missed these exchanges and missed of being of service to all of you. And for all of you who are new, welcome. For all of you who are continued supporters, I'm just getting emotional because it's just one of those things. Sometimes when you feel like you're a satellite, but you forget you have this infinite connection to it all. And sometimes when you go through this space of transformation, you do feel you're alone. But sometimes you have to allow yourself to feel that, to feel the loneliness of the space, because any great space of transformation does require this time, require the space for you to honor yourself, sit with yourself, be with your thoughts, be with your energy, be all that is you. And once you have mastered all of that, then you can begin to share that with the rest of the world.
and be beyond the ordinary.
See, which reminds me of something that you hit on earlier, and I might do this because I was just talking about how everyone in the world that we do are doing all these things and teachings and courses and blah 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 blah. I was guided to create something on the lines of self mastery. Now, mind you, I already have my Lemurian attunement, but this would be something different from that to help people guide them back to their mastery. I'm learning how to do that now myself, but once it comes into to the full fruition, it will be granted to those who want to step into the mastery of self. Because honestly, being here on this planet and trying to step into your mastery is kind of like what?
Hey, it just gets to the point where you have to have fun and live in the joy, you know?
Yes, exactly. And that's part of being the master, having fun.
Exactly. We forget about that part. We want to take everything so serious.
Like me.
Let's read that. The Traveling Druid.
Yes, you can read out
Oh,
loud.
I can. Okay. We have the right and need to decide who is part of our life and who is not allowed to not interfere with our inner self. Things shouldn't be stagnant, but flowing and changing when they have to. Exactly.
Well said,
Well
traveling
said, the
druid.
traveling druid, all the way from Glastonbury.
Yes. Hey, speaking of, so
Hey,
I haven't done it yet, but I plan on doing it relatively soon, like in the next week. Booking my ticket to
oh,
go
he's
to
on the way.
Peru. How exciting is that going to be?
That is very exciting.
I know.
So you'll be in Peru and I'll be in Egypt at the same time.
I know. We'll be like almost opposite of each other, connecting and pulling in different
Oh
kind of
my God. We
energies.
could connect from the pyramid that goes with the channel that goes all the way down to the other side and comes out in Peru.
I know you have to tell me the dates again. Maybe we can sync up some kind of way. The
Oh,
dates
there
where
you
you're
go.
going
We'll get that
going.
later. So
Yeah.
does anybody have any questions or anything coming up for you like to like us to discuss or bring up or spiral around? Because we do this show and however we love you guys to interact because I feel we create this show and we come on here, but however all you guys are part of it as well. I just want you to remember that. So I love the interaction. I What are you doing, Hillis?
I was showing the card, the
I
Inner
can't see.
Explorer.
Oh, internal explorer. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the huge thing right now. Going in and deciding what you want and asking the question. You should do a channeling connection and see what you can come up with. What do you mean I should do a channeling
Oh,
comp?
when if we go on our when we go on our trips.
Oh, okay, I got confused. We
Rebecca's
did.
back. The
Oh,
channel has left the building.
I know. I get on rounds. Hey, speaking of that, that's the biggest thing we need to do right now.
What?
You don't know?
The tuna?
No, not escape.
Oh yeah, not escape. No, we can't leave. And honestly, so speaking of not leaving,
Look, he likes to leave. That's why I said that.
no, very, very real moment, very honest moment. And I have a lot of these, and I feel the emotions coming up. And during this time, there have been times where I felt like I actually wanted to leave my body. Like I'm done with this planet. I wanted to check out. I was like, you know, nothing has turned out the way that I expected it to. I'm done. And it's like, no, you got to hang out a little bit more. And I'm like, no, I'm done. Nothing has happened the way that I envisioned it to. Nothing is going the way that I planned it to. I put in all this work, all this energy, all this effort. I did all of this, and I'm just done. And there were a couple times where Rebecca didn't know, maybe she did know. She kind of like talked me off the ledge a little bit. I had my people to talk to because sometimes when you're just sitting in the depths of that energy, it's like, you know, I'm just done. What can I do? What is helping me to stay here? And at that time, nothing was helping me. I wasn't attached to anything. There was nothing that was keeping me. I'm like, if I can go, okay. And in all honesty, there are moments in our life where we have agreed to, if nothing is going the way that we want it to, we have an out. It's like, this is my time. I'm leaving. I'm done. But having the show and doing the show, this is one of the reasons why I stick around. To really um, be of service, and that's my greatest thing is being of service. And when I think of moments, to be of service, to spread joy, to be of service to others, to help them on their path, to clear their trauma, to do my purpose, to do what I'm supposed to do when I'm doing what I'm doing, there's an immense amount of joy, immense amount of love that comes through. And when I'm not in that space, it's like, oh, I'm done. But then I remember, oh wait, I got stuff to do. So yeah.
And also remember too that
Well, wait, I want to say something because Indigo said it sounds like a test which you have clearly passed. I haven't passed it yet. I'm still taking this test. I mean, honestly, there. I mean, it's an evolution. It's not necessarily a test, if you will, Susie. It's more of really understanding who you are and how and what you are evolving to and through. And that's what it is. It's more of an evolution than a test. And when we can get through the evolution, because this planet is evolution in itself.
Mhm.
And so when we get through that, it's like, okay, what's next? And so that's basically what it amounts to.
My turn.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just wanted the only thing I wanted to say around that is, and thank you for staying, Hillis. Because you could have checked out if you wanted to. So thank you for hanging around. But in saying that, I think people's, all get caught up in what can I do for service. What especially when you start opening and expanding who you are,
Yeah.
and I think people kind of forget sometimes the most important thing you can do on this planet is just to sit with yourself and be the light you are and
Yeah.
send that love from your heart out into the world.
Yeah.
And that is all the service that is really required
Yeah.
in this world is being in the heart of the love, in the sacred heart.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
it really comes down to that. And all the rest of it is just learning to navigate this interesting experience that we're going through. in this evolution that we have chosen to shift this planet and humanity in. And how do you want to show up to do that?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
just to remember when you get caught up, because I know a lot of people right now are very overwhelmed. I have my moments,
Oh yeah.
with everything that's going on, all the energies, all the people, everything that's happening, and how do you connect and da 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 da. And and when those moments come and you get like in your head and you get in the monkey mind, take a deep breath and just remember I am light and stand in that light and allow that light to flow out of you. Just open yourself up, just to allow a burst of light to flow from your heart. And remember, you came in as light, and that's all you need to do is be the light you are.
What she said. I love it.
Okay. Oh, Bridget.
Yes, I was going to get to Bridget. So, no questions, just changing my focus and getting back to connecting with myself, the earth, and spirit. Can you recommend any good meditations? So, I don't have any good meditations per se, but I will say if you want something to connect to or with in the energetic space, it's this guy I absolutely love. He's on YouTube, has this channel, and it's Sapien Medicine. He has some of the best stuff, and I know he has some stuff in there with meditations and earth frequency and spirit frequency, grounding, all that stuff. But check him out. But what I was going to say initially was that if you want to really connect to the earth and spirit, just sit outside. Sit
Exactly.
outside on the grass or on your lawn chair,
I
soak
know
up
where
some
Bridget
sun.
lives, and it's very hard to sit outside in Florida. So, Bridget, take a
Oh,
trip to the mountains. But the tide's changing.
if you're in Florida in wintertime, I mean, it's a little bit better. But I mean, honestly, we'll find time to sit in the evening, ground, connect, talk to Mother Earth. I mean, even do those little things. You don't necessarily have to schedule a time, just intuitively connect. You can be out on a walk or you can be out in your car. I just did an interview recently where I was telling people about one of my gratitude practices, which is the thank you rampage. That could be done anywhere at any time, and there's no specific way, rhyme, or reason to connect. Just allow it to happen. It'll be beautiful. It'll just be in a space to allow yourself to connect to the spirit that's already living within you.
Exactly. And and that's it. Meditation is just sitting in silence within yourself. You really don't you can do that anywhere because we are such multi-dimensional beings. We can bring in the essence of anywhere in the world anytime we want if we tap and allow ourselves to open to experience that. So, one person I like to listen to sometimes is Steve Noble. He's from England. He has some
Oh
really
yeah, Steve Noble.
yeah, we got to get him back on the show. I got to connect with him again. But anyhow, yeah, I enjoy his and just and sometimes just put some music on that you like, some and just sit with a candle. Just sit with yourself in a candle. Candle watching is a wonderful thing, just to sit and just allow the motion of the candle.
I've learned my
So
lessons
many
about.
different things. So I hope that kind of helps give you some connections. So yeah, but it's mostly just getting in the silence of yourself
Yeah,
and just
exactly.
allowing and just looking and exploring and just, allowing those lies we tell each other to go away so we can connect to who we truly are. And only you know who that is.
Exactly.
But my truth is different than Hillis's truth. That's different than Bridget's truth. That's different than the traveling druid's truth. We all have an intertwined and mingle that we all kind of flow together. However, we all have different truths. See, Susie likes to listen to Mozart. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It doesn't have to be. It's finding what brings you joy in your heart. That's the key. So
Mm.
if rap music brings joy in your heart, which I know that's a little extreme, but if that brings joy in your heart, sit with rap music. If that opens you up and expands you, that's what it's about. Being in the heart is what the key is. Connecting to the heart and allowing that space to grow. to
Yes,
expand out,
exactly.
allowing that vibration to vibrate and embody that essence of who you truly are. And I
Yeah.
can't say that more. And and just and really really getting clear on what that is for you and you alone. And the rest of it, just let it go because it's not worth it. Just think of all the years you have suffered. You have suffered by listening to other people, by following other people's directions that did not follow with what you vibrate with or what feels right for you, by believing in things that really didn't make sense to you, however you believed them because you felt like you had to. So look at all those aspects of your life of what you've taken on that's pulled you away from, once again, that light you were born as, from that essence and that sovereignty and that beautiful, just mushy love that you came in this world in.
Yeah.
And that is what you have to get back to. What brings you mushy, that mushy, like petting a puppy. I'll go get the puppy. She's not a puppy anymore. But what gives you that mushy feeling, that you know, whatever that is. I'm getting caught up in the feeling right now. I can't talk. So
No, I love that, and that's
just
what it's
feel that
about.
energy, just right now, just take a deep breath. I just want everybody right now just to take a deep breath in and think of one thing that just gives you that mushy love of joy and excitement, like a little kid. Feel something, just connect to something that makes you feel that. And just breathe into that and allow that essence just in your body right now and feel that vibration. Feel the vibration of you expand out. Feel it. Allow it in your body, saying, yes, yes, this is how I want to walk in my world. This is what I want to feel. This is what I desire. This is the space that I am and the light that I walk on this earth as.
Mm,
Tap into that and
yeah,
follow that, my loves.
yeah,
Follow that.
yeah.
Okay.
What she said.
You get that?
That was beautiful
Thank you.
for that. It's funny.
Did y'all feel that?
Yeah, I felt that, and it's so funny because I was in my right before you got into that. I was like, "Should we do the tune-up?" And Rebecca, you just did it.
Ah,
You
different kind
just
of tune
did the
up.
tune-up. You got the heartfelt go
That's it. My
inside.
love.
Feel your energy, feel your light, feel your love, and what is there already. That little seed of light, that little seed of life, that universal bond, that connection that is attached to all things, and how you have magically assisted in helping people find and bring that back to center
Exactly.
is where we are right now. And yes, it's hard, it's confusing, it's difficult, it's challenging, all the lower vibrating things. Yeah. But guess what? In an instant, when we choose to, when we pay attention to, we can bring that resonance back up and say, you know what? Enough is enough.
No more, no more. And if you get out of it, stop. Give yourself, be present with yourself. Honor yourself. If you're getting spazzed out and stuff, say, I don't care where you are. That's what I mean right now. We try to be so kind and not like ruffle anybody's feathers. But if you're in a situation that's getting too much for you, say, stop. I need to take a moment right now and find that space, find that love, find that heart, and find that light, and then proceed. And if
Yeah.
they don't like it, then oh well. Because you know what? It's not about pleasing them. It's not
Not
about
easy.
pleasing those people out there. It's about finding you and living in the light of you and showing love and kindness to all. So, anyhow, I'm going to show painting I did.
Yes.
I just did a new little painting. But I think this is fun because talk about light and love and gifts from the universe. So
This
this is
one
my,
right here, this little love bug.
she is a love bug. I don't know where the baby is. She's so big now. So this is my one of my new little paintings I did.
Oh, you
But
scratched yourself.
but I want to share in this beautiful little heart. I can't put this beautiful little heart in the center of it.
I
Um,
love that. So you guys got to go buy Rebecca's paintings.
I
Period.
know I've got to get them out there again. Anyway, I wanted to tell you this little heart, talking about surprises in unpredictable places. This little heart leaf I found, it was a leaf on the bottom of my pool. So I turned it into a painting with a feather that I found, a duck feather I found in my pool as well. So anyhow, I wanted to share that because there's surprises of love everywhere if you open your eyes to look. And they
Indeed.
might not be huge, they might just be small, like this little leaf, but it's a heart love sent from heaven and sent from source and sent from the universe to you every day, always, if you open your eyes to look.
Yeah. So what do you think? You think we should come back next week?
Let's go on it. You want us to come back?
You want us to come back next
Oh,
week?
oh, hey, and anybody out there, we are thinking of changing our name. And we kind of like in a new space, a new name, just to kind of update. So if you guys have any suggestions of a new name, let us know. And that's it.
Oh, I love that. Yes, yes, they want us to come back. So we'll think about coming back next week.
We'll come back next week.
Yeah. Kicking and screaming with love
No,
and joy.
no. Look at I just found a heart leaf outside my breezeway door. Just this
Oh,
moment, Deborah.
that's amazing. I
Oh,
love
that's beautiful. There's a lot of heart leaves out.
So, what we want you to do, or what I want you to do, or what Rebecca wants you to do, go find yourself this weekend. Sit with yourself, quiet spot, 5, 10 minutes, and just be that. Be you in that time for you, and radiate that energy of love and see what comes back to you just in that little bit of time. Insight.
And one of the other cards we drew was Into Me I See.
Love that.
So that's what you need to do. That's what we invite you. You don't need to do it. We invite you to take those deep dives because that's what's really required right now.
Yeah,
That's what's beyond required right now.
yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah. And guys, thank you so much for showing up. Thank you for being here. Thank you for growing. Thank you for listening. Thank you for everything. So much love to you all. I just send out so much love to everyone who listens to the show now or in the future or finds a recording that you find your path, you find your way, you find your heart, and you find everything you desire in this world, and you become the master you were born in this world. And remember that the light you are.
Mm. Thank you, Rebecca. And until next week, everyone, remember your soul, remember who you are, and be that light.
Till next time, thank you so much.